Hey, you guys, this is Karen Elizabeth Patton, Jack's baby girl, and welcome to Karen's Inquisitive Corner, part two of Ashley's story. I do apologize for the late recording. I have had terrible technical difficulties, and any one of you that work with computer and cords and all of that truly understand. So I do apologize for the late post, but we're ready for part two of Ashley's story. Remember last week I introduced you to Ashley Armstrong, a beautiful young lady who lives in Mississippi, and she had a terrible life-changing accident as she reached for her phone, headed to her mom's house for Sunday dinner, as she has done for many, many years, traveling the same road that she has traveled again for many, many years. But this one day, May 5th, 2 years ago, would change her life, not just physically, but mentally in every aspect of her life. This accident would change Ashley. She did not end up at her mother's house that day, of course, but she did end up in the emergency room, blacking in and out, really not knowing what is going on, trying to figure it all out. But she was actually out more than she was in. Her family was very worried. Of course, they showed up there at the hospital. So now we're going to pick up from where we left off. Ashley, are you on?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay. Yes, I did promise you that you would get to see Ashley's face, and you will, but we're going to talk just a little bit. So, Ashley, let's talk a little bit about your rehab. But before I do that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to show you just a quick few second clip of a video that she actually has on Facebook on her page.
There are going to be times that you're going to just struggle and you're going to be tired and you're going to be weary and you're going to want to quit and you ain't going to have nothing left. But you still got to carry on. Live your life, ladies and gentlemen.
Ashley,
Yes, ma'am.
when you see this, what do you think about? What do you think about when you say this? Okay, you guys, here's Ashley.
Hi.
Beautiful Ashley. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. So when you see this, what do you think about? When you see that, when you just watch that video, even just for a few seconds, what do you think about? Do you relive that?
Every day. When I go back and I see all the photos and videos that I took of myself or that was taken of me back then, it's hard to watch. It's hard to see myself in that state, unconscious with a neck brace on and not knowing what was happening.
Not knowing what was going on, and just not knowing, what the end result was going to be.
Right.
How long after your accident did you start your rehab?
I started rehab my first start of rehab was in Memphis at their regional center there. But they had already given up on my legs, so they were just mainly in Memphis teaching me how to build my upper body strength to transfer myself from bed to wheelchair. So
Okay.
the real work,
Let's go back to what you just said. They had already given up on your legs. So they had already told you that you were not going to walk again. Is that what you're saying?
yes, ma'am.
And so in your mind, you're thinking, okay, not going to be able to walk again. And audience, when you talk about not being able to walk again and being paralyzed from the waist down, then you're talking about bowel routines, you're talking about in and out catheters, you're talking about a whole program when you're not able to walk or you're paralyzed from your waist down.
That's correct.
How did you tell us how you felt?
Helpless, destroyed. Luckily, I have friends who are nurses, so they came to my home and did my cathetering and my bowel routine.
Mhm.
Um, but it was helpless not being able to get up and go to the bathroom. I had to wear a diaper all day. I had to be changed. When I would urinate on myself or have a bowel movement, I would have to call somebody to come change me.
Literally, like call somebody on the phone. Hey, come change me. I need to be changed. So you left the hospital. You went to the hospital in Memphis, and you started your rehab in Memphis.
Yes, ma'am. I started rehab while I was at the hospital in Memphis. I was transferred from the trauma part of the hospital to therapy, and that's where I started. But since they had already given up on my legs, I didn't have. I only had therapy with my upper body, just building strength, trying to transfer from bed to wheelchair, from wheelchair to bed. The real therapy, I call it the real therapy because they didn't give up on my legs. It started when I came home to Water Valley. I was put into therapy here in my hometown at Yellow Bush General Hospital.
You okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you started your therapy here, how, so when you transferred, your notes transferred with you to say, hey, she's paralyzed, so don't worry about the legs. We're just trying to get the upper strength. We're trying to get her where she can feed herself again, and all that. So what made them go towards your legs? And they already was told by the previous medical institute that you weren't going to walk anymore.
My first day there, we did an evaluation, and they just told me to hold on to this mat, and they were going to stand me up, and they put some sticky things on my legs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they just monitored all the movement, and they said, let's go, let's go, we're going to get her in, we're going to start some therapy. I think she has a chance, because at that time I could feel my feeling was starting to come back. I could feel my legs, I just could not move them. And it was at that point they were like, we can do this, let's go, let's get into some intense therapy 3 days a week. And that's what we did. We started it, as you see in the videos, those were my first couple of sessions. We started from the bottom. The picture with the two guys, that
Mm-hmm.
that's Cadero and Maddie.
Okay.
I have on the red pants there, and they were teaching me how to stand up again. I couldn't even stand up. Um, and there in the orange, we were just working on mastering standing up. We literally started from the bottom and just working on standing up, pushing off the chair, get enough strength to stand up before we started to take
Mhm.
steps.
Right. And your neck is still healing because you still have on your neck brace. So I
That's
noticed that you were holding on to the bars. So you were able to hold on to the bars with your hands.
yes, ma'am. The injury also interferes with my balance. Um,
Hmm.
it takes away a lot on my balance. So I was there holding on to the bars, just making sure I could keep my balance up.
Okay. And then I noticed on this last one, you had four men helping you.
Yes. In this photo, we were actually pushing off the chair, getting ready to try to take a few steps. We had actually made it to the process of taking a few steps, easily, just one step at a time. Cadero there in the front, he's just there in the front, basically telling my legs what to do. I would stand up, and he would pick up one leg and place it, and pick up the other leg and place the other one.
Wow. Look at God. I mean, I'm just thinking if they had showed up and they had, went by the notes and said, okay, she can't walk. I mean, this never would have happened.
Yes.
This never
Um,
would have happened.
yeah. I just think, some had already went by the doctor's report and had already given up on me. Um, but me and my therapy group here in Water Valley, we trust in the report of the Lord. So we just pushed. We used what we had, and we just pushed through.
How long after your accident did you take your first step?
My accident was May the 5th of 2024. I was starting to take my first few baby steps in September of 2025. 2024, I'm sorry. So about 4 months.
That is awesome. That's amazing.
Yes, ma'am.
4 months. And so at this point, so the accident, can't move anything, neck down,
That's
can't do
right.
anything. When was the first time you were able to feed yourself?
I was feeding myself in the hot maybe a month and a half later. I was feeding myself, but I didn't have a lot of grip in my hand. I could feed myself, but it was just a mess.
It was everywhere, like
It
a
was
baby,
like a
like a
baby,
baby.
like a baby.
So about a month, still can't, still can't like move, turn yourself, still on a diaper, all that. They said you weren't paralyzed. You went home. You started therapy. Approximately 5 months later, you take your first steps. How did it feel when you took your first steps?
I felt proud of myself. I felt like I had a door had opened, and I was getting ready to push through that. I began to get more encouraged. Um, at first, I didn't think I could do it. I had already mentally given up on myself. Um, but just being able to take those first few steps gave me hope, and it gave me a whole lot of encouragement. And I knew if I could take just these few steps, then we could build up to take more.
And you were alive.
Yes, ma'am.
If nothing else, you were alive and you had made it this far. This far. You had a struggle ahead of you, but you had made it this far, and you were still in the game.
Yes, ma'am. Still in
If
the
nothing else, you were still in the game. When from your accident were you able to? So you're walking and your bowels start moving. Your bowel, all that starts moving again. So when were you out of a diaper? How long did it take you to get out of a diaper?
um maybe the end of the year, maybe November of 2024.
Mhm.
Um because it's just a very sensitive injury,
Sure.
and it could happen at any time.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, me and my occupational therapist, we worked on a lot of um, training, like just therapy, just learning how to squeeze my muscles again because those
Mhm.
muscles were weak. Um,
Yes.
the urinating part, it became a whole lot easier. It was the bowel that
Mhm.
took more work. And
Sure.
I don't think a
Sure.
lot of people understand that it has started to get to me mentally. Just scared to go places because I didn't know if, you know, I was
You had
gonna
no
have
control over it.
I had no control over it at the time. I had to relearn. So it wasn't just about relearning how to use my hands or walk again. It was a lot of mental things there too. I had to relearn how to squeeze those muscles to be
Mhm.
able to control my bowel and my
Right.
urine.
Right. Right. You have boys.
I have two boys.
And during the time, I think they're a little older now, but they were like full blown teenage
Yes.
boys.
Yes.
And so you have boys, and you think about boys cleaning their mom. I
Hmm.
know men do it and have done it. How is that? How did that affect your boys?
They saw me go through some tough things. They never was in the position to clean me or anything like that. But my oldest, he would get up in the middle of the night and help turn me from side to side. It became a struggle because he would have to get up and go to school the next morning.
Mhm.
But I would call him all throughout the night, every 2 hours, because I would have to be turned from right to left. And I didn't even have enough strength to turn my body from side to
Mhm.
side.
Mhm. Did you ever break down? Did you ever get a wound or ulcer?
No, never got
Wow.
never got a wound, never got an ulcer.
Mhm.
My support system was phenomenal.
That is such a blessing. Such a
It
blessing.
is within itself.
Such a blessing. So Beautiful, beautiful then, beautiful before, beautiful during,
Thank
beautiful now. How do you feel right now, Ashley?
I feel like I'm on top of the world. Of course, I have my bad days, but my good days outweigh my bad days. I've come a long way. I've come from where doctors who are specialized in that field, who deemed me paralyzed, and I've beat
Mm.
that. I've beat the odds. I've come from that. I've worked hard. I've worked hard for with my therapist. I've worked hard to get my everyday life back.
Is it back? Is it back? You know, when you go through something like that, um, the norm changes. Your
Yes.
normal changes. You don't get back to what that you get a norm, but it wasn't like it was before. You
That's
have a different normal. What is different in that normal now that was maybe different before the accident?
I'm a little bit more careful and considerate about where I go and what I do. I feel like I'm a new person. I may have come a long ways, but I'm not 100% to where I was before the accident. So um, I'm careful about where I go because my balance can get off. Um, I can fall within a blink of an eye just because I may trip over something or my balance may get weak and I just fall. I'm careful about what I put on my body, like strain and stress. I do a whole lot more resting nowadays than I've done before. Um, Pain gets me down a lot because things are still painful. My body is still healing. Even after 2 years, it's still healing and getting used to different things.
Where's some of your pain coming from?
My pain definitely hits my left side. Most of my injury was on the left side of my body. So the pain definitely hits my left leg a lot. And it's definitely in my hands. My hands feel, I have a lot of nerve damage in those hands, and the pain comes from that. And a lot of times from the lower back. Even though in the surgery and the rods are in the upper back, it's just like a
Yes,
lot of pressure on my lower back.
sure. Is it constant pain? Does it ever let up?
It lets up. It lets up. Certain medications help. Um, I've actually transferred to a new neurologist here this year, and we're working on some different kind of medications to trial and error just to see what we can manage with pain. So it has its days. Some days are better than others.
I can imagine. You know, what the devil means for bad, God always pulls some good out of it. And
Amen.
sometimes it's so hard for us to see it. And the audience is probably thinking, what good, would have come out of such a tragic accident? Actually, what good came out of that for you?
I always say that this wasn't just for me. My story and my injury was for someone else. It was to let people know that what when man says no, God says yes. Um, my new purpose now is to show light, to show that even in the midst of, God is still good. Um, you just have to keep going.
You also had two little helpers here, um, to help you heal. Tell us about them.
Um, so I am a poodle mom. I own two standard poodles. The dad is actually black and the mom is actually that color, and they actually ended up breeding and having puppies while I was in the hospital. Um, and that was actually a blessing because, of course, when I came home, I had no job, and my girl ended up having 9 puppies, and they all sold enough to pay my house note up for a half of a year.
Girl, really? Look at God. Hallelujah for a half of a year.
Yes, ma'am. So those puppies I have
Oh,
actually
wow.
grown to their new homes, and they should be almost 2 years old now.
Wow. And so you have, but you still have the mom and the dad.
I do, Raven.
Let's see them.
Come here. This is
Beautiful.
yes, ma'am. So these are he has actually turned into my emotional support baby. So he stays by my side most of the time.
Wow. And so I'm sure they missed you when you came home. They were probably like, Mom's home, Mom's home.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Sure.
Those are my babies.
Mentally, where are you?
Mentally, I have my days. To be honest, there's no there's no right or wrong, I guess, answer to that. Mentally, I have my days. Some days I am okay. Some days I am back working full time.
Wonderful.
So I get up every morning, and no matter how hard it is, or no matter how bad my body feels, I still have to make a living for my children. And so most days I'm okay, and some days I'm just not. Some days my body hurts, and it's just more so the pain that gets me down. But I just don't have a choice. I just have to keep going and keep pushing through. So mentally, I'm okay some days, and mentally, I still struggle. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
Um, Women, we struggle anyway. You know, the older we get with menopause and hormonal changes, and all that. And I'm sure with your accident, your hormones were probably all over the place along with that.
Well, actually, 2 weeks prior to the car accident, I had an emergency hysterectomy. Um, and
2 weeks. So you were still healing from
I still
that.
had stitches in my stomach during the accident. And they took everything, the ovaries, my appendix, my um everything. So that forced me into early menopause. Uh,
Oh my goodness.
so it's just been a lot. It's been a lot. That's just some of the stuff that I don't even talk about because I really had no time to process that because I
Sure.
was thrown into the car accident.
Sure. Wow. I know when I had my hysterectomy, I'm just kind of thinking of some of the mental and the physical that I went through without the car wreck. Wow. That was a whole lot. Ashley, you are such an amazing person, and so you have inspired me. You know, a lot of times we look at the things that we go through in life and we look at them being so huge,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
we're always told there's somebody worse off, there's somebody worse off, there's somebody that went through more than you. And the things that I'm just thinking about myself, audience, and I'm sure you all can think about something that you've gone through that you didn't think that you would have made it through.
That's right.
um, that would have been very, very, very hard, but you made it.
I
You,
made
God,
it.
your family, you made it through, and you're here now. What do you want to leave? What do you want people to take from your tears, from your pain, from your agony, from your being your rebirth, because you were reborn. You didn't
Yes,
go into the womb and come out, but as a baby, could not feed themselves, could not wipe themselves, could not wipe their tears away. You were there. You were there. You couldn't do anything. So you have been kind of reborn again. What do you want people to take away from this?
first thing I want to say from the beginning, don't text and drive. Just don't do it. Just wear your seatbelt. I had a friend tell me just this week that she was watching a show while driving, and she's very close to me. And I was kind of disappointed because she knows better because she has seen firsthand what can
Sure.
happen. I just want to tell people don't text and drive. Wear your seatbelt. It can wait. I promise it can. I relive that day every day, and whatever I was doing that day, it could have waited. But I do know God has a purpose. There's a purpose for everything. And this may not have been just for me. It may have been for somebody else to see my story. And I just want to spread the goodness of God because He is good. He gave me strength and He got me through this. And the process is necessary. I know it's hard. It gets harder before it gets better, but it does get better. So I just want to encourage somebody to keep going. I know what it looks like. I know what it feels like, but there's better on the other side. Just don't give up. Just keep going. And God will see you through. He'll take care of it.
So, you guys, this is Ashley Armstrong sharing her story with us. Ashley also had a catering business, Dipped and Buried by Ashley. And you can see some of the things that she made prior to the accident. It was just amazing.
Well,
Now, Ashley, you're not.
Actually, those are all after the accident.
Oh, after the accident. Okay.
Yeah, so I still
Awesome.
can use my hands.
Those are one. So you're all doing this, of course, like you said, by hand. So this is wonderful.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're still doing it.
I have took a short retirement from treat making. It's just a lot on me. Just from standing, that takes a lot of work, long hours. All of that is edible. All that is handmade. So it's just a lot on my body. So I have retired from the treat business.
But I would think even with your hands, did it give you a sense of peace, being able to, you did it, you were able to do it.
That I'm still able to do it.
Right.
It
Right.
proved to me and everybody else that I'm still able to use my hands. It may take me double the time. I may have to turn things a certain way and hold things a little differently, but they still come out very pretty.
Very pretty. And I bet it's delicious too.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys, Ashley Armstrong is on Facebook, and she has almost, I think, 6,000 people, but her story was viewed over 400,000 times. And she actually tries very, very hard to answer all of the people that text her. She answered me like the same day, and I actually couldn't believe it. So the video that I showed you, I didn't show you all of it. So I want to close with that, just showing you this entire video again.
There are going to be times that you're going to just struggle and you're going to be tired and you're going to be weary and you're going to want to quit and you ain't going to have nothing left. But you still got to carry on. Live your life, ladies and gentlemen. Be excited about life. Regardless of the struggles, regardless of the circumstances, get excited about being above ground and not under it. Walk with your head up high and live your life. How many of you have been in a competition where you pushed yourself and you worked so hard and you pushed everything you had within you, and then you got so close to the finish line, your legs gave out. You didn't have nothing else left in your legs. You couldn't run a little bit further. You couldn't. There are going to be times that you're going to just struggle and you're going to be tired and you're going to be weary and you're going to want to quit and you ain't going to have nothing left. But you still got to carry on. Live your life, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Ashley.
Be excited
Thank
about
you
life.
so much. That brought tears to my eyes. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a better person.
Thank you.
I'm a better person for meeting you, and we're gonna stay close, and we're gonna keep communicating. Okay. Okay,
Thank
guys. Love you. Karen Elizabeth, Patton Jack's baby girl, and a story of life, of living, and never give up. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.